Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth installment of the highly acclaimed, critically acclaimed MAG show. I am one of your hosts.
The
and,
Mag
Of the
Show.
MAG show, we have Mr. Butler. And today we also have two other members of the management team who were also in the Mag Show 3 and did a wonderful introduction and talked about themselves, and it was absolutely fantastic. But since I am retarded and can't record things properly, I didn't record it. So, uh, with all fanfare, I would like to introduce you all to Greg and Matt, and they're going to give themselves a little introduction, as was they were supposed to do last time, or did do last time, but because I'm a retard, I didn't record. And then we'll get on with business. So if we start with Greg first, Matt first, and then we'll start with Greg, and he can roll into the Manston update that was in the last show but didn't record. So take it away, Matt.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt. Where do I start? Well, I started off in aviation a long, long time ago, hundreds of years ago. And yeah, I started as a baggage handler, worked my way through the aviation industry, worked various jobs, flying loadmaster for a little bit, bits and bobs like that. So I've got a fair good understanding of aviation and cargo. Yeah, I like to think I'm the man, but people probably don't think I am. I joined Manston. When was that? About 3 years,
Something
2
like that.
years, a little while ago. Yeah, and I'm head of cargo operations, so basically putting new cargo routes in, things like that. Looking at new destinations and types. Obviously, getting a lot of help with that from Dan and Dave. Yeah, that's really me in a real quick nutshell.
For those of you who don't know, Matt is also the absolute genius behind
Well,
the stunning Manston scenery that we have, and he is also the proprietor of Vortex Scenery Designs, or Vortex Simulations or Scenery Designs. Well, that's awkward. Vortex
scenery designs.
There we go.
You can call it whatever you want. I don't mind.
I'm sure some of you will have seen his work has actually been featured on FlightSim.to. It's like that good. But if you want to
Thank you.
talk about that a little bit, please feel
Yeah, I
free.
can. Yeah, okay.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind. It's all good. But yeah, so I've started that up about I don't know, really, a couple of months ago. I've been designing scenery for a while now, but mainly in X-plane because there was airports I wanted to use and things I wanted to get involved with, but they weren't there, and you'd spend a long time waiting for someone else to create it for you. And I thought it was a little bit cheeky, really, just sitting there waiting. So I thought I'll make it. But then I didn't really offer them out because I didn't think they were good enough to be used by other people. So I kept them for myself. And I also made an X-plane Manston Airport, didn't I? The sort of how it would look in the future if it goes to the plans that we can see on Google.
When?
Uh,
Not if.
25. It's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen.
Will.
So
When, not if.
and it's
It's
going
happening.
But yes, I built that, and I shared a few pictures of you, didn't I, about that? And you was all like, "Oh, that's pretty decent." I still didn't think it was that good. So, but yeah, and I stayed with X-Plane for a while. Started doing a little bit of freelance with a company called Boundless, so I still do a little bit of work with. And then Dan managed to convince me to come over to Microsoft Flight Sim, and never looked back. I would have deleted X-Plane actually if it wasn't for the fact that I still need to develop on it. Otherwise, it would have completely gone. I spent about a solid week cursing at my computer trying to work out how to
and
design.
us. Don't forget
Yeah,
us.
everyone, my wife, my kids, everyone. And I was going to give up with it. It just looked too hard compared to what I've used to using X-Plane. And then it just clicked. And it's actually, I'd say now, looking at it, it's a lot simpler process with the SDK for Microsoft Flight Sim. And I've designed a few airports there. Decided to release a few just to see what people thought because they're the best critics. If they don't like them, they're not going to hold back. They're going to tell you the crap, and that'd be it. But they got to my surprise, got quite a good response. So I designed a few others, just mainly small GA strips, sort of quick enough to make, not too time consuming, and just local stuff around my way really. Yeah, and they went down well. So I decided to do Manston, which I designed Manston Airport, which I believe you can download, can't you, from the website if you are a logged in member? Is that
Be
true?
able to.
It's
So-
perhaps an older version which needs to be updated. I was going to approach you about that over the next couple of days if we
Yeah.
can,
To be
because I
fair, I
also
think
need it
I've.
on my new laptop as well. I'd
Oh,
like to
okay.
get
You
the
just
new
want the
Your
version.
file.
4090 laptop.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I do want to update this scenery. I said to you before, actually, in the last
Yeah.
show, that I want to compile everything into one folder because obviously,
Yeah.
as time's gone by, I've worked out lots more about the design process, and I've now can work out, but I can make that one folder. So it's been
Yeah.
so much easier than having to use other folders to supply like assets and stuff. So I will get to that, but I will send you the file as well.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and that's where it is really. And I've decided to put a little name to it all. So I called it Vortex. And the plan is eventually at some point. Oh, thank you. At some point, don't tell the wife it was her idea. Actually, I come up with loads of different names, like all real like cockpit orientated names. Like, and she was like, rubbish. But try Vortex. I was like, that is crap. And then I did it. And I was like, I like that name. I was like, yeah, it's all me. It's all me. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so we'll see where it goes from there. I'm gonna hopefully get some sort of online store up and running, and the next sort of batch of scenery I make will be for sale. But I'm not gonna be in the mind of ripping people off. They're going to be very very cheap. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
The next Aerosoft of the flight sim world, I'm sure.
Oh,
Well.
come on! Don't insult him.
Okay, feel there.
Right.
Even worse.
Vortex are going to
Well,
be the big thing.
you know what? The scenery we were using before in P3D was UK 2000, and I
Yeah.
genuinely believe that your work is far superior in the
So much
Manston
better.
rendition than theirs ever was.
Oh, thank you very much. That's nice to know.
So, and I don't know the UK 2000. I know there's a one guy in charge of it, but I'm sure they have a team behind it as
I
well.
think it's
And
just
there
him.
you are. Well,
I
there you
believe
go.
it's just him.
You're also a one-man band, and you're absolutely
Well, thank you
decking
very
it
much.
home. So
Oh,
I'm
thank
very
you.
impressed with your work.
Well, hopefully it will develop into something a little bit bigger. It's not obviously
Yeah.
it's not going to be my retirement plan. But it's something I want to do, and I'm quite enjoying. Believe it or not, not trying to be a martyr, but I quite
Yeah.
enjoy giving something back for free because the amount of
Yeah.
years on flight sim from like the very early days where I've always been the person that just downloads from like flightsim.com and all the other websites and take people's like the creation that everyone makes, and it's all for free, I know, but you feel a bit guilty. So it's nice to give a little something back now. So,
Yeah.
albeit little, but you know. But then with that, you've got the element of people don't understand that you're not really a fully established company at the moment, and they believe that they've got the rights for support and everything what you'd get from a big company. So I do get some very random emails every now and then, but you know, we'll learn.
Well, we are very, 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 very fortunate to have you on board, Matt.
We are.
And
I like being here.
not just on the scenery front, but you know your expertise in the cargo field is second to none. I mean, you know, we would have never dreamed of some of the operations such as Coventry up to Wharton down to the Middle East. You know, none of us would have thought of that. So, you know, or even considered an East Midlands base. So, you know, it's really a pleasure to have you here, and you really are an
Thank you.
asset.
Likewise.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
next up is Mr. Greg, who is our Director of Flight Operations. Now, Greg, just a little backstory. When Dave and I started ManstonOnAir, we got a little bit of backlash from some of the controllers online who were very willing to tell us what they thought about Manston and etc. And one day, I had landed in Manston, and I got a .chat on vPilot, and it was, "Oh, you're the Manston guys. I'd like a chat." And I thought, "Oh shit, is someone gonna come and say something to us?" And it turned out to be Greg, who was extremely passionate about Manston. So I will hand you over to Greg to introduce himself and give a little backstory on what's happening with actual Manston today itself, because Greg has actually been onto the airport recently in the last few months. So take it away, Greg.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So thanks for attending the MAG show. So obviously a brief introduction there from Dan. Thanks for that. Just a brief background, I guess, whilst I'm here. Yeah, so pretty much I was just flying on the network and I saw these guys before many times flying in and out of Manston, and obviously living nearby. I think a few of us actually live nearby. Obviously, I thought that sounds quite cool, so I sent over Dan a message. I didn't think it sounded so serious, but anyhow, I'm glad it got through because it started this quite decent collaboration and stuff, and obviously the ManstonOnAir group is going quite strong, and I'm glad to have been gotten involved in it. So a bit about myself. Currently flying on a PPL at the moment. Been flying for many years since I was 12 years old. Started off gliding and went to obviously powered aircraft and cadet things like that. At the moment I work for the airlines and I'm quite busy. It's the summer holidays, so I'm doing things here and where I can. So if I sound quite tired, I do apologise, but I am running on about 3 hours sleep in the last 48 hours. Obviously, in terms of operations and stuff, I think what we've done at ManstonOnAir in the little time we've existed, I guess, I mean, comparatively to some major VAs, we've been around for 3 years, I think.
Yep.
And it's 3 years this month, yeah. So it's pretty incredible, I think, and the passion that we've seen come from pilots who have been joining us, and the commitment that every single one of you has shown is quite incredible, and it's really great to see that Manston and its name still lives strong, even though it's been closed for quite a few years now, which is where I'm pretty much going to give you an update on the latest. So at the moment, the development consent order was granted earlier this year, but for the second time, may I add, it's already been quashed in court and reissued by the Secretary of State, and then the anti-airport people decided, oh, we don't like this again, we're going to take you to court again, and so they've tried to do that. Effectively, at the moment, the DCO is still active, it's still current, it's still written in law, it's still there. However, there was a court hearing at the beginning of July, covering a few points, varying from need, which doesn't make sense because it's not even included in the DCO sort of aspect of why it should be challenged, and climate change as well. They're arguing that certain figures are out of date and certain figures are not relating to the UK's policy on becoming carbon neutral or something. Some crap, basically.
Save the turtles.
Pretty much save the turtles. So quite simply, the judge is in recess at the moment. He heard the court cases from both sides over 2 days at the High Court, and effectively waiting for that ruling. Now, the outcome of that ruling, there could be quite a few outcomes, I suppose. The main one is that their points are thrown in the gutter where they belong, which effectively means you have no legal standing. You cannot continue any more legal challenges on this basis because it's complete and utter shit. That's the hopeful thing that we hope to see. The second option is that they could be approved to challenge on 1 or 2 points, which could require further clarification. What this normally means is it then gets thrown back to a panel where they discuss what it is and talk about what they may need to change, and then it ends up getting reissued anyway. So it's just effectively a delay tactic. And then the third thing is where the whole DCO can effectively be completely quashed if the judge feels that there is a very decent case being brought forward to argue why the DCO should not be allowed. But what's very important to remember is that the DCO and the judicial review of which we're going through is solely based on procedural errors. So it's based on things within the procedure which were not followed correctly, aka the letter of the law. Now, everything has been done to the letter of the law. It's been very accurate, it's been very, very well thought through, and there aren't any legal proceeding standpoints which can be challenged effectively. And this is why the last sort of legal challenge had technically got thrown out. It did get thrown out. But then the antis decided to challenge that and said, well, you didn't take into account this piece of evidence here. And then another judge decided, oh, wait, you have a fair point. Let's see if this is valid. So they challenged the challenge. It's just ridiculous. It's a rabbit hole. And they're probably going to end up in Wonderland like Alice, and they'll try. But anyway, that's that. So pretty much we're waiting. We're waiting, as we have done for the last 10 years, for the airport to reopen. But it's looking optimistic. I mean, they're running out of money. The antis very much struggled to raise the £75,000 that they needed this time round. They made it. They were actually short by 2k. Somehow they found 2k. I'm not going to suggest where they came from. I'm sure they found a way to get the money from certain people in certain areas of public office or somewhere. Who knows? Anyway, but that's that. So hopefully they get thrown out, and then the DCO is good to go, and we can, I guess, get on with our lives in the area. River Oak, who are the owners of the airport, and the people who are running the DCO, can get on with building works. Obviously, at the moment, with all the investment that's lined up, they can't suddenly start spending hundreds of millions of pounds on a legal document effectively, which could effectively be quashed, be thrown out. So, there's a reason why building work hasn't yet started. But as soon as this DCO is all tied up, the stamp is licked and it's sent, then it's all good to go. Last I heard, I think operations are realistically, with this late into 2023, with tenders for building going out 2024, we're probably realistically going to see Manston open in 2026 if all goes well very soon.
Close enough.
Which is close enough. I think that's great news personally, and it'll be such a benefit to the local area and to aviation in general, especially in East Kent. What's been awesome is there's been a few fly-ins actually organised by River Oak. We had a day recently where 110 light aircraft and helicopters flew into Manston in a day.
That's decent.
Yeah, and it was absolutely incredible. I was actually up there briefly, and it was great. Yeah, it was amazing, and it was just so nice to see fixed wing and aviation at Manston again. Obviously, we've seen helicopters all the time. We've got Helix, which are based up in the old TG hangar, and we've also got Polar helicopters operating out of their base that they have been for years, by the museums. So there is still an aviation thing going on there, but obviously the fixed wing stuff is great. The issue is the airport is unlicensed, so you can't have more than, I think it's 150 days of aircraft movements fixed wing, or maybe is it like once a month? I don't know what the exact wording is, but effectively, if you go over a threshold, you're then effectively operating without an aerodrome license, which you do require to be unlicensed. You can only operate a certain number of movements in a year, which is why it's not every day. But you can have these one-off events, which is awesome. So make the most of the days that there are things.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there's not really much more to say. Obviously, I'm open to questions. If anybody has any questions about River Oak or the plans for Manston or about what is happening, then just feel free to message me or ask at the end of the Q&A session. By all means, I'll try my best to answer anything that I can, if I can.
Yeah, and on our end, I don't know if many of you have noticed, but we have actually started modifying the nose logos on some of our aircraft. So the standard livery comes with a Visit Kent logo, but recently we've started adding either Manston 2025 or RSP Manston Airport logos onto some of the more updated liveries. Now, when those updated liveries will get out, looking at you, Mr. Butler, also looking at me because I'm the one that needs to render them out because I'm bloody painting them, then you will all see the changes. But all new aircraft in the fleet are coming with either RSP or the Manston 2025, because obviously before, as Greg said, it was Vision 2025 was the original proposed opening date, but with all the red tape and everything that he told us about, it's being pushed back, unfortunately. But we'll keep Manston 2025. I like the logo. I came up with it all by myself. But
Yeah. There is one thing I forgot to mention actually. Working in conjunction with the DCO, concurrently, is that the right word? Alongside, effectively, is the CAA airspace application. That effectively is discussing all the flight paths, all of the arrivals, departures, and airspace classifications of which Manston will operate under. It's a FASI South project, which, if you know the CAA consultation process, it's effectively a thing brought out to modernise the southern United Kingdom's airspace. And it's FASI, I believe it's called FASI. I think something correctly. I believe it's FASI. If you look on the CAA portal, there's loads of information that's really, really interesting if you like that sort of stuff, I guess. But it's really amazing how they're modernising it all. But if you're interested at looking at Manston specific project, and if you type in Manston Airspace Change, it's an ACP, an airspace change proposal. You can see all the information on there. And in the bottom of our Discord, there is the Real Manston Airport category. There are occasional updates with news reports and things which may be relevant there as well. But if you do have any questions, shoot a message in there as well, and if it's about Manston, I'll try my best to answer.
Yeah,
but yeah,
awesome.
Thanks for all attending, folks.
Well, yeah, thank you for the introduction, Greg. And again, likewise with Matt, it's a genuine pleasure and an asset to have you on the team. As I'm not sure many of you know, but or noticed, but the Discord has recently, in the last sort of couple of weeks, undergone a slight revamp. So it's a little bit more organized and it looks really nice now. And that was all Greg's work. Additionally, you're writing the training manual?
Yeah, so yes, I am writing the training manual, effectively. Which is just going to help us assist in the basics of introducing people to flights. It's not going to be wholly in depth. It's not going to be a 600-page document on every single physics thing about planes and stuff. But it will be a basic introduction, setting things up and effectively.
A syllabus?
Yeah, I guess you could call it a syllabus. Yes, that's effectively what it's going to be. It's going to be a syllabus. It's basically going to be a training pathway of which you can work alongside to help further your flying skills. And yeah, I mean, obviously that will take some time to do, but it will be done nonetheless. And when it is done, we shall publish it for you.
Awesome.
Very good.
Right. Well, thank you again. And we will go on to the MAG updates. Now, I have to share the screen. Voila. If you can all see this gorgeous, gorgeous picture taken by our very own Gary, who won last month's screenshot of the month competition with this beautiful shot of the Cessna Caravan, the glorious Cessna Caravan. Fantastic job, Gary. This is genuinely a stunning picture.
It is.
You can tell you've got a background in photography. That's all I'll say. But no, congratulations on winning last month's award. And if I may also say, Gary has done, as of today, 97 flights in the last 30 days. That is
bloody impressive.
Incredible. That is so incredible. Fantastic job.
I don't know.
Well done, Gary.
If I was in front of an airplane, if I put the computer that much, I think I might get square eyes.
So I love flying, but 90 flights in 30 days. Gosh almighty.
Well,
it's fantastic.
I think Gary
just make sure you're within the flight time limitations set by EASA, Gary.
Yeah.
So I somehow think you might have exceeded the flight time limitations. Basically, not you flying, but we'll let you off.
I'm sure many of you know, but we do have achievements in MAG, and there are some achievements that are super secret achievements. Now we know what those achievements are as management, but they only get given out when certain things happen. And all I'll say is Gary is very, very close to achieving one of the secret achievements. So I hope so bad that we can award this to Gary, and you will be the first person to get this award. So congratulations again on the picture. It is a fantastic picture, and we hope that we can be giving you another award very soon. Having said that, the Screenshot of the Month competition is still open for everybody. So if you want to get in a couple of pictures, please do. You have, is it 3 or 4 days left in the month?
It's the 27th, so what's that? 3 days?
3 more days. 3 more days.
3 days.
Yeah. 3 more days to get your entries in, and then it will be closed. So we look forward to getting your responses, and hopefully we can give the award out next time to someone who hasn't won it yet. Alrighty, so that's that one, and then a couple more mag updates. So again, as I'm sure some of you have seen, and as I said in the last update, the caravan routes are now officially available, and in fact, Gary has already completed every single one of them, so good job again. So those routes are all active and can be flown today, right now. The livery is still in the paint shop. It's taking a little bit longer than expected to get right, but it will come. However, for now, if you want to fly it, just fly it. It doesn't have to be in ManstonOnAir livery. It can be if you want. It doesn't have to be if you don't want. But yeah, so the Kenya routes for the Verona caravan are now live. Secondly,
One thing I would say
sorry, please.
about those Kenya routes, Gary and I were talking about it today, but it's worth mentioning. I mean, it goes without saying for the more experienced pilots among our ranks, but Kenya is a relatively high elevation. There's some high terrain around, and you will experience and enjoy the effects of high density altitude. So essentially, the aircraft is less performant. So you have less lift over the wing. The propeller produces less thrust, and the engine itself has got less oxygen, less dense air, and so all of those factors play into the fact that the airplane just doesn't perform as it would at sea level. So
Very hot as well, doesn't it?
it is hot as well, and that also contributes. It depends on the time of year, but yeah. So yeah, one of the ways that we have found, in particular on the caravan of tackling this, is essentially to keep the power until very, very late final, until the landing is assured, and then just literally just cut the power. You could almost go into beta just over the field as you're touching down, to once landing is assured. Because if you try and cut the power any earlier, what ends up happening is the energy of the aircraft just drops, and the airplane basically drops out of the air, and you end up with quite a firm touchdown. So just something to keep in mind if you are planning to do any of these caravan flights in Kenya, to just keep an eye on the density, altitude, and the effects associated with that. Sorry, Dan, continue.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for the input. Again, all knowledge is good knowledge, right? So thank you very much for that, Dave. Secondly, we have a new award coming. Now, this award, as discussed today, was for, and it will be retroactively applied as well, for Antwerp. Now, Antwerp is quite a challenging little airport. It's a very steep approach, and it's also a very, very short runway. So the award will be coming. We'll upload it in the next sort of a couple of hours after the mag show goes live, and then we will award it to anybody who has operated Antwerp. So that's that. And then thirdly, the destination of the month for September 2023 is...
Drum roll, please.
Rochester. Rochester Echo Golf Tango Oscar. Now, part of the reason why we chose Rochester was we're trying to sort of move around the different types of aircraft that you can fly to get the achievements for the destination of the month. Last month you could fly 737, A319, A320, A321. This month it is a Caravan, and Rochester actually is quite a tricky little airport to get into. Actually, it's sat on top of a hill. It's always windy, and
It's a bit crowded.
It's a bit crowded, and it's a grass runway once you get there. So if it's wet, you're going to have a little bit of a tough time stopping. Additionally,
get a level 3 in there.
I've heard that before.
But also it's a 20 to 30 minute flight at most. If you fly a little bit faster, you can probably get there quicker. Yeah, so it's a nice little challenge. And Rochester is the destination of the month. Anyone wanting to look for it? Sorry, Tommy.
We wanted to do that before the weather closes in as well for the
Yes,
winter.
'cause it's gonna be nasty.
So September is probably one of the last months that you really want to be going into some of these smaller airfields.
If you want to get out.
Rochester, in terms of local knowledge, gets covered by quite a thick cloud base in like autumn and winter because of all the weather that passes through and dew points and whatnot. So summer months is really ideal for Rochester. As soon as you start getting into autumn and winter, the weather turns.
Yep. So that is the destination of the month for September. And additionally, if anyone has not flown to Amsterdam on any route, it doesn't have to just be the one on the achievement. If you want to fly from Southend, if you want to fly from Bristol, if you want to fly from Liverpool, Florence, I think we have it from Tallinn as well.
We even have it from South America.
We even have it from South America, yeah.
Atlanta, via Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah.
On the 747.
So any flight landing in Amsterdam and then subsequently departing Amsterdam. You have to land in Amsterdam and then depart Amsterdam on any MAG flight. So that could be StratosJet, ManstonOnAir, or Verona. So yeah, 3 more days to get that award if you've not already got it. And to those who have it, congratulations. So, moving on to the news segment. Now, this month's been a little bit of a slow month in terms of new updates, exciting releases. But there are a few notable things to talk about. The first thing, and I'm sure myself and James have already found this, which is that the Phoenix A320 has been updated to version 2. So essentially with this update, it improved the, what is it? Is it rectify flap 3 drag, given a few changes to the VNAV, stability, and most importantly, performance. Now, the Phoenix 320 was always a bit of a hog of performance, but now it is a little bit better. So it's looking really, really nice, all leading up to the 319 and 321. And the 319, you can bet your ass I am going to be flying the 319 like crazy. We have 319 bases in Florence and Southend. That's exclusively A319. So I'm really looking forward to doing some operations out of there in MSFS. Obviously, those who are using P3D or X-Plane before have had the luxury of doing operations into and out of a place like Southend and Florence. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So the things that have been adjusted, you can see here, go around trigger, crash fixes, high speed altitude, constraints, and all of this stuff. If anyone is interested, it is on FS Elite, so you can read all of the improvements and see what has been changed. But it's looking like it's really improved, and I'm really looking forward to those new additions. Plus the Sharky boys. I do love a Sharky boy. Next thing is a very recent release. 2 days ago, Quick Flight released the B2 Spirit for MSFS. Now, this is a really, really interesting aeroplane. I mean, I don't know why it's got German flags all over it. We
Pretty
never got it.
cool.
But that is an absolute monster of an aeroplane. It's more
Well, look at all
fragile.
that freedom.
I
It's
know,
lovely.
delivering freedom at several tons per second. From what I understand, it's quite a tough bird to sort of keep in flyable condition. They're not actually allowed to keep it outside in the rain because it degrades the coating, and it has to be in a hangar that is temperature and climate and blah blah, blah controlled. But does that thing not look so cool? I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, okay, they've done a little something with the with deliveries, because in real life you only see these looking grey, but that just looks incredible. I might have a go at that actually.
Yeah, that looks good.
Apparently, it's the most expensive aircraft to ever be developed.
Yep,
I think it's to the tune of $23 billion US.
per
Wow.
unit.
It's an insane amount of money, whatever it is. Like,
I can believe that. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the B2 per unit was
What, 23 billion?
$2
to
billion
develop.
for one
Oh,
airplane.
2 billion.
Yeah.
2 billion with a B
Wow.
for one airplane.
Wow.
And Quick Flight are
that's
selling
because of
it.
the total cost of the project and how many they actually produced, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
that's
Quick
pretty good.
Flight
21 built.
are selling it for just £14. So you're getting quite a steep discount there.
1 billion. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that is
I
the.
prefer a real one for 14.
Oh, me too. But
The big
yeah,
question is, though, could you get one in Rochester?
we might have to
It's
try
one
that
way to
actually.
find out.
Oh, so dear.
That's a new reward. When we add the B2 to ManstonOnAir's fleet, we'll do a Rochester route.
With a
Yeah,
tune of 2
boy.
billion, I think you'll be signing the check, mate.
Yeah.
We'll do payload delivery flights to the Middle East out of Rochester.
Rochester directly to Iraq and Syria and back.
Exactly.
Mogadishu.
Sudan, maybe. Yeah.
Do love a Mogdu. So yeah, that is the Quick Flight B2, and that is really cool. So
It looks good.
Gonna have a little play at that. Next thing is, I don't know if any of you have an InnyBuilds account, but they have been sending emails every single day for the last 3 days, called the InnyBuilds Summer Surprises. Now these are things. What they're bringing with this summer surprises is discounts, and that's it. New discounts every day. But
Cool.
I have to say, InnyBuilds does have some of the highest quality add-ons out there. Those of you who have downloaded the Asobo A310 for MSFS will already be using an InnyBuilds product, since InnyBuilds actually built the A310 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It was originally an X-plane, as was the A300, which we'll get to in a second. But they built the A310 from the ground up to put it into Microsoft Flight Simulator. So yeah, InnyBuilds are a very good developer, and they are also bringing out this gorgeous machine. Look at it. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so dirty and well used.
Look at
I
all
love
the
it.
lines. Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. So
Love
She's
it.
put it through her paces, hasn't she?
InnyBuilds A300 is coming, and it's coming soon, and I cannot wait. I'm going to fly the
I
shit
think
out
so.
of
So
this
are you.
airplane. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at that thing. It's
Filthy.
just, absolute filth, mate. Oh, look, I've only just noticed that they've even got a security seal
Security tape.
that's
Yeah.
been like,
Look at
oh.
I love the
Oh,
It's
detail.
been
I do
open.
love the detail.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, when you leave an aircraft overnight for a tech stop and the aircraft is unattended by the crew, you have to put these security seals on, and they sort of leave a residue when you peel them off. So you can, when you do the walk around the next day, you can see, okay, that stayed in place, that stayed in place. Oh, this has fallen off, so someone might have tried to open this. But look at it! It's just so gorgeous.
Look at the handle.
Look at the handle,
Look
and,
at that.
it is 110% without question being added to the mag fleet. As of right now, the plan is for it to go to Verona, and that's when we can start sort of expanding northwards out of Mama Africa into the Middle East, and that is where I think the A300 really shines. But yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Cough, gun running, cough.
Take my money.
No idea what that is, as long as it makes money, right? So yeah, it said there's going to be no more updates as of right now until they go into beta testing, but they are planning to release it before the end of the year. I believe it is by the end of 2023. So again, we have a few more months to wait for this, but I can't wait. I don't know what the Epic mod is. I haven't really read into that, but maybe it'll be like the TFDI MD11, where they sort of add functionality for the Epic mod.
I've never heard of that before. The Epic mod on that.
No, me either. But I'm hoping it's sort of a more like a systems update.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is the A300, and there's this honestly, this one picture is the one that I can't get over, because it just looks so realistic. Like, you see these things flying around. I mean, out of Sharjah, I was, the lovely regions that I have been privileged to fly in. You see these things all the time, and to be honest, this one looks like it's in good nick. Compared to some of the ones that I'm seeing, like the Kazakhstan or the Kyrgyzstan registered A300s, Uzbek registered A300s. That it's just amazing. But yeah, can't wait for this. Really excited.
All the stance.
All the stance, pretty much. So yeah. That is the update for any builds. The A300 is coming, and I can't wait. Okay, next one is the Horizon 787-9. Finally,
Yes.
hopefully, they have released some screenshots here. A 787-9 for MSFS. We have the -8, we have the -10. And they're going to make a custom flight model. They are, going to bring their own liveries, which we will have painted, because we do have the -9 in the fleet, believe it or not. Again, those of you who are in P3D may have the Quality Wing 787. And to be honest, once this and the 777 comes, then I will probably be uninstalling P3D. That's the only reason I still have it.
Same here.
Even though I don't actually use I haven't used P3D in quite some time. I still have it installed on the old rig. But once this comes out, I guarantee you within a week it will be painted, and it will be deployed on the ManstonOnAir group
network.
And if I just load up our operations center right now, so if I do departure from Manston, and it's on a 789, so you can see we are flying from Larnaca to Cape Verde, all the way to the Caribbean. You have Honolulu, you have India, you have the Seychelles, you even have Australia direct from Manston. So that is going to be really fun to get back into, some like proper long haul flying.
What's the flight time on that one? Out of interest, please.
Australia.
Is that 8?
To Perth.
Yeah,
I
Madison,
assume it's
yeah.
Perth, right? Is it Perth or Sydney? It's be
Perth.
Perth, right?
Perth.
Yeah, it's
Perth.
17:20, I think, 17:40.
Yeah, that's
we
good.
have it scheduled as 15 hours 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Dave and I actually flew this before ManstonOnAir. We actually flew this together in sim in real time on VATSIM from Heathrow, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
we did.
took the aircraft Sydney, Melbourne, Singapore, Heathrow, Perth, Sydney, I believe, and it was a fucking long day. But yeah, so we have all of these flights. So and the best part is, I believe it's free.
Really?
It's not going to cost anything. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just.
Can't wait for some serious long haul flight aircraft. I really
That
can't.
I know.
so much
That's
fun.
one thing which prevented me from going to MSFS.
Yeah.
Was the lack of long haul, but now they're starting to come out. I'm so happy I finally got
I,
it.
I tried the other evening on the Bob Basic Standard Asobo 78710, and something went wrong on the way. I carried on, stuck with it, but the frames per second were really low.
Dog
That
shit.
was about 15 and a half hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stuck with it after all that time. I just couldn't bin it after that amount of time.
Yeah, fair enough. But as far as I'm aware, it will be similar to the Kuro 787 in that it'll be they will be using Asobo's assets to make the airplane. So I don't think that they can actually charge for it. So
Right, yeah, okay.
it'll be free.
Hmm.
So yeah, that is the 787-9. As I said, we do have a shit ton of destinations and routes that you can fly with the 787-9.
I thought it was more than that actually, but
some of these as well. If I do TLPL, yeah. So from this place, which is St. Lucia, we
to
actually fly
Grenada,
down to Grenada and to Tobago.
Tobago.
So once you get to the Caribbean, you do another hop to another beautiful island. So yeah, that's a little bit of different.
The
flying.
island of spice, where
island.
everything is nice.
and you give your meat a good old rub.
Ainsley
Yeah,
Harrier
boy.
style.
But yeah, so that's the 787-9. Really, really looking forward to that, especially because it's going to be free. I think. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be free.
Watch them charge 70 quid for it now.
Yeah, well, let's see. It is a requirement to have Premium Deluxe. So yeah, it's going to be using Asobo's assets. So those of you who don't have Premium Deluxe, you can get the Premium Deluxe aircraft into the simulator. Not that we would ever endorse doing such things. You know, pay for the full thing. But
yeah, boy.
But yeah, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really, really, really looking forward to that. And you can actually join their Discord. They have Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, and everything, so you can keep up to date that way. Second to last is that Volanta was updated to 1.6, so they've added a few new features. I can't remember. I will open Volanta right now. Why not? Why not? It's a free fucking country.
Is it?
Where you're living, it might be. But
Where,
where I'm
where
living,
you
it's
are?
certainly
I'm
not.
not sure where you are, Dan.
That's a good point, man.
So I believe, have I got? Yes, I do. Look at that. So if you look at this,
Can't see it on your stream. I don't know if I'm being dumb or if it's just not coming in.
Sorry, I think I have to share the whole screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Change windows. Volanta. Go live. Voila. Look at that bad
Ooh,
boy.
yes, there we go.
So, as you can see, once you go to flights, and I'll click on the last flight that I did, you'll see that you have a new little box down the bottom, which is the playback. So if I press play and I do it in, I don't know, 128 times, it will actually, okay, maybe it's too short of a route to do, but it will actually show me the tracking as it was, as the aeroplane was, and you see it getting a little bit faster as you accelerate, and you can just see it tracks along the route, which is kind of a nice little feature. It's a little bit like flight radar,
Yeah,
where
it is.
you can track. If you flew on a flight, you can track, or you're tracking someone. So that's a really cool little feature.
Very good
They've
of them to do this for free.
It
Mm.
is. It is. Again, I'm still thinking about going for the premium,
Yeah.
but you know.
What do you get differently with the premium? I've never really looked into that.
So for
What's the
premium, you get unlimited screenshot uploads per flight. So for free,
right?
you only
Okay.
get 3,
Yeah.
and you have to blur that one out. So that's embarrassing.
What was
So
it like? Big Booty Liquor 69 at hotmail.com.
something like that.
Anal
Um,
intruder 10.
yeah.
Big booty bitches.
Um, you also get Volanta. Okay, let's just your personal flight tracker. Okay, so what do you get for premium? You get a mobile app. You get
Ooh, that's quite cool.
auto saves. You can do parties. You can upload screenshots to the cloud. And it can be yearly or monthly, and it's 64 US Aussie dollars. I don't know what that equates to in real money.
It's about half, give or take. So it's about
£1,000.
£3-4 a month.
£33 for the year.
That's not
Yeah,
too sad.
That's not too bad.
yeah, it's
That's that.
I posted a link to it in the Pilot's Lounge for those who are interested. It's quite
Thank you very
interesting.
much. So these are all the new features: new and improved map setting, improved downloading of airport data. Airports have local time and country information. Open, closed destination. Ooh, okay. So open or closed. So it'll give the local time, and it will say somewhere open or closed, I guess. But yeah, it gives the local time, and it gives the currency, and okay, that's kind of cool. And then product recommendations, menu, aircraft icon. So yeah, that's a little update for Volanta. So that'll come for free, and have fun with that. Next up, and last thing to talk about today, is that Aerosoft they've actually been given a grant of €459,000 to develop the Airbus Neo series. So that'll be the A330 Neo and the A321 Neo. Now, the 330 Neo,
Yes.
not super interested in that, to be very honest with you.
No.
Probably get it, but yeah. But the 321 Neo, I'm very, very interested in that if they put wing flex in it, which they refused to do last time. But
We're going to
yeah.
get the XLRs, aren't we? The XLRs and do direct flights to Calcutta. Yeah, single aisle.
Well, the plan
It's a
is
joke,
that
by the way.
the plan is that the 321 Neo would take over the vast majority of what the 737-900ER is doing. Bermuda, Cleveland, Syracuse, those sort of very long haul stuff. Because the 900 can do it, but you're like digging in to your reserves by doing that. So, am I still on Volanta? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm just more interested to know that a developer can get a grant for £400,000 or dollars. How do I do that?
Okay, that's
That
changed
is quite extraordinary, isn't it?
now. But yeah, so it's like some green initiative with Germany. I'm sure Gary could probably tell us more about that since he lives there. Are they sort of, they've got the horn for the green
They like to save
stuff?
turtles.
Yeah, they love to save the turtles or something.
I just
don't know.
registered my company.
Turtles have ever done anything for us.
Register your company in Germany.
Vortex.de. Now I get £400,000.
What have
Germans have
turtles done
money.
for
They have
us?
just money to throw away, don't they? The
Yeah,
Germans.
yeah. So
Probably all come from us.
there's the thing. But yeah, so the Airbus 321neo, I'm actually really quite looking
Mhm.
forward to that. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
And as I say, the idea is once the 330CO comes out, we will see if we can modify the nav database. If we can modify the nav database, then 110% the A321neo is coming to the ManstonOnAir fleet. If we can't modify the nav database, it might have to wait until 2026, possibly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming, and quite looking forward to that. The Aerosoft A330 still isn't released yet, unfortunately, and I wish it was because that should be a nice long haul aeroplane. But hey ho. So yeah, that's all that
Wasn't one of us going to be in touch with Navigraph regarding Manson again?
we were,
I
but
was
they
I
said
was about to say this actually. Update. I did send Navigraph an email about 3 weeks ago, and I've heard nothing back. So being ghosted,
Oh.
which is what we basically have been faced with the last couple of years. But we still try. But there was a recent addition with over 1,000 VFR airports, and I thought, well, technically, Manton still has VFR like aircraft IRL there operating. Therefore, it seems to me right that it should be recognised in some basic form of nav data, which would help us out. Basic
Yeah.
runaways and stuff. But no, I've heard nothing back. So.
well,
We keep trying. Still, we rise.
might have to wait till 2026.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We'll get the final laugh.
if the nav database is modifiable, then Mr. Butler and his magic batch files should, in theory, be able to create some procedures and everything for that.
Definitely.
So that's
As
all.
long as it's modifiable in Notepad, then I can
Yeah,
do something with it.
because
If
we
it's
tried
a database, there's no chance.
for the Phoenix, for the FS Labs. We actually had to go through an application called Table Plus, which is an SQL editing software.
It's a database.
Yeah. So essentially, it was a massive pain in the ass. I did it, but it was not shareable without sharing the Navigraph proprietary data, and then you run into, okay, so we're providing this modified air rack for our pilots, but not everyone has a Navigraph subscription, which means that we would be giving away their IP for free, which means that we would get in the shit. So it's not like the PMDG, which you can just modify with a notepad. So even if you don't own Navigraph, the default nav database can be modified, and the Navigraph one can be every month as well, with the sort of the quick add Manston batch file. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I do apologise. It's been a shorter show than usual today. It's just been a bit of a quiet month, really.
I wanted to put something out there. I've had an idea since the beginning of the show, so that's why I didn't mention it earlier.
Careful.
Ooh.
Regarding
Ooh.
regarding downloads. So one of the things that I've been coming up against with the downloads is that I've been uploading everything as zip files. Partly because not everyone is super computer savvy and may not be familiar with either RAR or 7-zip files, or have the programs to unzip them. But also because when you upload files to the likes of avsim and flightsim.to, but particularly avsim, they all want to be uploaded in zip format. However, the flip side of that is that 7-zip and RAR, my preference is 7-zip because actually it is a more compressed format. Take up a lot less space than zip files. And one of the problems we come up against is server space. That's why we have about 5 or 6 different accounts on Dropbox that we upload to. So my thought is, what I'd like to do is publish a poll for ManstonOnAir group members, which I can do via our monthly update email, which will be published after this video goes out. To go out to everyone, because I think the downloads needs to be updated, an overhaul anyway, with regards to so many new liveries for MSFS that need to go up. As to whether you guys might be open to the idea of everything going up as 7-zip, at least on the website, and then for the likes of avsim and flightsim.to or 2 or to, whatever they want to be called this day of the week, can then be uploaded as a zip if need be. But if you guys are comfortable with a 7-zip file, that works in our favor. So that's just something I want to put out there and maybe make a poll.
Well, that's not a bad idea,
Cool.
especially
Yeah.
if it's safe space.
It will do a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Well, we'll get the poll set up. As you said, that'll come with the email, right?
Yeah, I'll make an email, send it out in the next day or so,
Sure.
once the video is out, with the link to the video.
Awesome.
And then we'll send the poll out with it.
And I have to edit the video a little bit to try and not get doxed. But yeah, if anyone has anything that they want to add,
no, the only thing we said last night, it's not anything exciting. It's on the lines of new aircraft coming out. The short 330 and short 360, they're due out, I think, in about 3 or 4 days' time, or about a weekish.
And they're joining the fleet.
Yeah, so they're due soon, but it's nothing exciting. They're not going to be like showstoppers, but they're out there.
The routes are being worked on at this time. So it's going to be the sort of regional stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to that. And if Gary or James wants to say hi, no need for webcam, just sort of say hello. If you want to say something, put a note in the next 30 seconds. Otherwise, forever hold your peace. But yeah.
Warwick
Thank you.
747, by the way, Queen of the Skies, 4 engines.
The light quad. You mean the light quad?
400 tons, mate. Heavy.
Cute.
Okay.
Cute. 575, mate.
Yeah, they should be able to speak
Pop
if they
out.
wanted to. I wasn't sure if the permissions were correct, but they should be able to unmute if they wanted to.
Should be able to.
Should be able to.
I've got something to say. And
Okay.
obviously, nothing crazy.
Oh, God.
I've been thinking through this. I think we should, in honor of Gary, I think we should rename one of the caravans the Gary Van. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. I think we should have Gary and a special livery because he's done so well.
Gary Van.
He's done so well. He's like racked up so many hours.
I love it. I think it's great. That should be a part of the award. Once you get that super secret award, you get an airplane painted and named after you.
That would be cool. That would be so cool.
What do you think, Gary? Oh no. Okay, Gary the Bird update. Gary the Bird has flown the coop I have not seen Gary the Bird for the last week, and it's really sad. It was really sad. I don't know. He's just gone. Bless
He's in
him.
an
Are you sure
RB211
he
somewhere.
didn't get killed off by the cat?
No, it wasn't Gary because
Oh.
another maybe Gary's girlfriend or something got not done in by the cat when she came over for a cheeky one. But Gary came back the day after that, so very strange. But now Gary's gone. It's so
Maybe it was
sad.
ghost form, Gary. Maybe he come back to say goodbye. He wasn't actually in the human
Possibly.
world.
Possibly.
I think it's just a
Maybe I-
carrier
Gary
pigeon.
fought the cat.
Maybe I saw it, but the reason he was called Gary wasn't just in honor of Gary. It was because he was in the garage.
Ah, yes.
So, it kind of made it.
Good
It was
one.
poetic almost. But yes. So
Gary
maybe
in the
that's what we'll
garage.
do. If you reach that super secret award, anybody, not just Gaza, but anybody else, you get an aeroplane painted and named after you. I like that idea. I like
I
that
wonder
idea.
if Gary
Cool.
garage music. I'm sure he does.
You know
What's that?
what about the registration? Because I'll have a look at Ginfo.
Golf,
Aren't all
Alpha, Romeo, Yankee.
You can
X,
maybe
Gary
do
Kiss.
Alpha
we
Zulu.
could do Golf Gary, G Gary, Golf
Alpha
Golf
Zulu.
Alpha
Yeah.
Romeo
Alpha.
Yankee.
Well, it
Is
was
G
Or-
Gary
registered in-
available?
Go Gaz.
Go Gaz.
possibly. There
Or
is
Gaza, GAZA.
GAZZA. It was deregistered in 1987. So
Okay.
it is available. We could make Gaza. What do you think?
Gaza the Caravan.
I'm pretty
Gaza
sure
the
one of
Caravan.
BA's triples was Golf Alpha Zulu Zulu Alpha, wasn't it?
No, it was Zulu 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 Alpha.
Zulu 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 Alpha, thanks. Okay.
Was
so
that look like
it's-
7?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
now,
one of the
it's now,
really original
Ah.
chips.
it's now a Coke can if I'm correct.
Something like that, yeah.
Same way those 747s
I'm
are
sure
going.
I'm sure Lucas would know.
Zulu 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 Alpha. Oh yeah, you can see she's already gone.
Coke can.
There you go. Zulu Zulu Zulu
Aw.
Alpha. R.I.P. But they were 200 alphas. They weren't even ERs.
I mean, these were the very first proper 200
Yeah.
that BA received, so
Oh, it got paint. They painted the.
they were
tail.
the original ones. Yeah, wasn't that like the big push that BA did? Like, pretty Margaret Thatcher kicked off about it, didn't she, or something,
No,
saying it
this
wasn't
was
like.
that?
This was.
Oh, was that the
some-
7.4s?
This was some
Margaret Thatcher, milk snatcher.
graffiti, or probably some art installation or something.
Probably old
Very
Gaza
nice.
giving his paintbrush a whirl.
No
Oh, look at
mural
that.
painting, only on the port side. Yeah, Zulu 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 Alpha is gone. R.I.P. Yeah,
I
it's-
still
it's
can't
a
believe
big
they're
one.
scrapping Boak, personally.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
look
insane.
at her! Look at her!
Big C.
Gosh, she does look old though, doesn't she? She looks rough.
Which one? Big C or
Yeah, big
Zulu
C.
Zulu Alpha?
She does.
Wait, where's? Yeah, this is the picture. Oh,
It breaks my heart. I mean, you cannot lie, right? You don't have to be a fanatic, and I know it's only a normal 400, but to me it represents more than that. I think it's beautiful.
It
Mm.
You
was.
just don't get liveries like that anymore, you know. And
It was.
speechless.
I mean, I do have. I don't know how well you can see it over there, but
Yeah,
I'll just-
top corner. See that? Yeah. Oh, hello, Booty.
Leggies.
I do have a beautiful model. I mean, I have all three of the heritage liveries, but I do have Boak still. Big C still preserved in her final form.
7.4 is that we have in our fleet, which is a BA converted 7.4 of the Big Bird. Remember her? I'm pretty sure we still have her, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah,
We
we
do.
do. Big
The
Bird.
Yeah,
freighter.
I was going to say Big Bird, the freighter, but I don't know what reg we transferred her off.
It's
Big Bird.
BGBD, isn't it?
I thought
Yeah.
it was Delta. I had a feeling it was Delta.
Yeah, I can't remember which reg we transferred it off, but I remember bringing it from Lasham.
Yeah.
You can work it out from the cell car code. It'll be the same cell car.
Yeah.
BGBD, Big Birds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's BOA. Oh, beautiful aeroplane.
Yeah.
But
I just
yes,
love the basic tail, just the simple old speed mark, with the blue, beautiful retro blue, and it's lovely.
That is the Speedbird, isn't it? Is that the Speedbird?
is
Is that
the
what they call
Speedbird.
the
That is the
Speedbird?
It's the
Yeah.
very original
Mark.
speed mark. Speed mark, yeah, speed mark.
Speedmark. Okay.
If you go into the British Airways Global Learning Academy at
What?
TBA,
Let's put this back.
Which I believe anyone can go to that. Actually, you don't just have to be an
Where all-
employee, is my understanding.
where all the Nigels march up and down in their uniform and
And reminisce
They're off.
about the time they carried their Majesty the Queen on her round the world tour.
And you
Before
go
the
down the
riffraff
corridor,
came.
you see all the simulators, and you look up, and there are rafters, and they've got a gap in the shape on either side of the British Airways speed mark.
They're
It's built into the building.
bloody
In
Is
the,
this
in
what
the,
in the sim hall?
in the sim hall. You look up at the rafters.
I
at the
will. I'll have a
corners,
look next time. Next time I'm in,
it's a
I'll
speed
look.
mark shape, both sides.
Didn't know
magnificent.
that.
Yeah, it's part of the design.
All right. Okay.
All right, chaps.
Anyway, there's a whole Wikipedia thing on Speedbird. Anyway, it's quite interesting.
The VC10s and all that, they had it,
And those are Frobisher and Imperial Airways Albatross.
yeah, the VC10s was the one that it was sort of famous on, and they actually have
Love
one
it.
of those in Duxford.
Do you know another livery? You're saying about liveries. I know it's probably not so prestigious. The old B-Cow livery. I think that's really nice.
Oh, with the
British
blue and
Caledonian.
yellow, with the yellow lion on the
Yeah, that
tail.
obviously because BA bought those, didn't they? But I like that old livery. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, the yellow lion
Are
with
you
the
talking
beautiful
about-
blue strip down the
Yeah, that looks lovely.
Yeah.
Very classic looking, old school.
B-Cow, British Caledonian. Especially on the old
Would you happen to be talking about this livery?
Yeah, but it's a slightly modified. I think it's
is that on
even
the
older than that.
BAC 111? Yeah, look at that.
you
That's
know
the
what?
more modern one, I think, isn't it? Isn't
Here's-
there an older one?
No.
Yeah, there is. I think on the 74200 or 100. I don't know what they
It was
had, but
it was the same livery. No.
he's got the sweeping front. Has he got? Look, what's the front by the cockpit? Has he got like a sweeping? It sweeps down.
Does it have the gold? Does it have the gold under the blue?
Yep.
On that?
It's like this.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's just smaller
Yeah, nice.
because it's on a back 111.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
God,
It looks really, really smart, really clean.
It really did. I'll put that away now. All right, chaps. Well, thank you very much for tuning
Won't hold up
in.
any more of your time.
We won't, as Dave said, we won't hold up any more of your time. We do appreciate you being here, as always. We hope that you've enjoyed the MAG show, and very happy that you were finally able to meet Greg and Matt, and that they were able to introduce themselves. And hopefully, OBS has recorded everything. I think it has, because we did a test. I
said
think
that last
it
time.
has. But we actually did do a test today.
It's probably
So
recorded
I'm
us in like
fairly
10
sure-
times speed.
Yeah, probably.
So now we're just missing Lucas. That's the only one we're missing.
Yes, who is currently in a field.
Currently in the field, yes.
In a field with some
Enjoying
horses.
himself.
Alive,
Horses.
alive, may I add. Oh, we hope.
Hey.
I
thought he'd be hanging. I thought he'd be hanging out with sheep, not horses.
No, he's with the horses today.
He's with the horses, the sheep, sort of an every other day thing, right?
Tranquilized.
All right,
Speaking of
chaps.
horse.
Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. We look forward to seeing you next month, and hopefully it'll be a bit more of an exciting show. Maybe we can get Lucas in. If not, depending on the time frame, we'll be able to get Greg and Matt back in as well.
Yeah.
I might be in Germany at that time.
September, end of September.
Yeah.
I'll probably be around. I'll make
could
something
be worse.
up.
It could be worse. I could be in France. So
Yeah, I'm actually off all the last
the
week
lesser
of
of two evils,
September.
really.
Yeah, I can be there. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Good night.
All right,
It's
mate.
now 11:22, so I had better go to bed. Bye. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy
you
your
later.
Bye.
Bye.
night.
Bye.